Okay, now let's continue. Switch up to my notes here. See, he says, all are equal in Yah's eyes. Okay, and I say, oops again. Here an individual who lived Yahweh or wants to live according to Yahweh's or God's Torah or commandments became an Israelite via their hearts and closer than the American society. Yah looks at the heart, not the skin color, okay? Not your racist movement saying only blacks are authorized to preach the gospel or give the truth, or only whites or black power, white power, Spanish power, all these isms and schisms. That's not in scriptures. He says you obey his Torah. He says you're an Israelite. You're his. When you live as the living Torah named Yeshua did, for Yeshua, remember, or shall I say now, Yeshua is the Word made flesh, okay, or the Torah made flesh, okay. If you live according to the living Torah named Yeshua, wrongly renamed Jesus, then you know that you are an Israelite. You are not a Gentile Jew, okay. When you go to some Messianic congregations, they call themselves Jews and Gentiles. The scriptures doesn't give a difference between Jew and Gentile. He says when you come to him, you're all Israelites. You're all Jews today. Okay? You may not be from the tribe of Judah, Yehuda, okay? But that's what they've renamed it. So if being from 1 to 12 tribes, if you don't know what tribe you're from today, you know, or even if you know, he says, you know, man calls you a Jew. Like for me, I'm a Hebrew Jew. I know by my research and my DNA, etc., which I'm not going to reveal to you, but it's between Yahweh and me and the people who've done it. I know from my genealogy and my research that I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and my tribes, my blood is from the tribe of Benjamin, Judah, Yehuda, I'm a Jew, and Levites, the Levites, okay, the Kohanim, which follow the lineage of Moses and Aaron, okay. So the thing is, I have no gripes, but it doesn't matter what you are in the flesh. It's your spirit, how your heart is, okay, how your heart is. Let me skip over. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31 through 34, or Yirmiyahu, chapter 31, verse 31 through 34. It reads, he says, see, the days are coming, says Yahweh, that I will make a Brit Kadasha, or a new covenant, Kadasha, renewed Brit, with Bayat, or the house of Israel, and with the house of Judah. Those people call themselves Jews today. They truly may be Jews in the flesh. If they're not in the flesh, they're in the spirit. They don't believe in Jesus Christ or Yeshua, but they're still as much messianic as you are, because they're still waiting for the Messiah. He divides, he says, the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Then he goes to verse 32, he says, not according to the Brit or covenant that I made with their Avat or forefathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt or Mizraim, which Brit they broke or commandments they broke, although I was a husband to them, says Yahweh. But this shall be the Brit or covenant that I will make with Israel and those after those days. Now he just says the house of Israel. Why doesn't he mention the house of Israel and the house of Judah? Does he exclude Judah? Because the house of Israel, which is also called Ephraim, are the 10 tribes that they said are so-called lost, which they're not. No. Anyone from the tribe of Judah is also still part of the house of Israel. They're all Israel. They're all Israelites. He says Israel, period, because he knows his word. They're all going to be together as Israel in those last days. After those days, says Yahweh, I will put my Torah or law in their inward parts and write it on their levim or heart, and will be their Elohim, and they shall be my people, Ami, my people. Has Yahweh put his word, his Torah in your heart? Do you feel the need or the urge to investigate the Torah to see exactly what it's talking about? Do you? See, the scripture says in John, or Yochanan 1:1, he says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Some people, and I used to believe that when when God used His Word to start creating everything, I said by human deduction that the Word had a beginning. Well, here you see that the Word was with God and the Word was God. God, or Yahuwah or Yahweh, has no beginning. He doesn't have an end. Yah, or Yahweh, or God, is the architect of all creation. His tool was the Word. Verse 14 of John 1 says, and the Word, or God, became flesh. Okay, go to verse 18. It says, no man has seen the face of God save that him that is in the bosom of the Father. He himself has declared him. Okay, what was in the bosom of the Father? His Word. His Word, since it is God, is eternal. So the Word does not have a beginning. The Word is God. He has no beginning. The Word was in His bosom. The outward manifestation of God in the Spirit is His Word in the flesh. We have Yahweh Yeshua. It is not God in three persons. It is only God. God says, I am God. I am Echad in Hebrew. I am one and there is no other. So what is this confusion with Jesus Christ? He's the second person. No, He's not. He's still Yahweh, but He's in the flesh. Don't try and figure it out. See, with all the teaching you've learned throughout Christianity and through the years, through your Sunday religion and your seminars and stuff, you've been confused about what man has put in there. Follow what the scripture says. Yeshua, or Jesus, as you read in the scriptures, he says, in the original Aramaic Hebrew, he says, I am the Aleph and the Tav. The Hebrew alphabet, or it's called Aleph base, the Aleph is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. The Tav is the last letter of the 22 or 24 letters of the alphabet. That's the word that came from the architect Yahweh, or Yahweh. Anything that began with the letter Aleph, anything that was created by the letter Aleph was created. From Aleph to Beit to all the 22 letters ending with the last letter Tav, anything that began with all those 22 letters that was created by those letters, the word, it came from the Word, and the Word is Yahweh. His tool is the Word. Why do you think he didn't say in the Hebrew Aramaic? Because there's no equal letter. They said in the Greek, they said he's the Alpha and Omega. There's no such letters in the Hebrew alphabet. He's the Aleph and the Tav. He's the beginning and the end. When Yah spoke, he spoke His Word. That's what He was saying when He came in the flesh. I am the beginning and the end. Go to the book of Gil-Yahal, or Revelation. You see it again. He says, I am the Alpha and Omega, or the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end. People are thinking that's Jesus Christ who said that.